Hey everyone, it's Jason with Flat Fee. Hey, I want to talk to you a little bit here about these buyer agency agreements. Been a while since we've done a video. I can only get on here so many times and tell everybody stop paying 6%. It's crazy. But I do want to go over some of this buyers agreements, buyers agency agreements. They're having people sign. These agents are having everybody sign. We're supposed to have them signed before we show you a property. That's guaranteeing our the commission that agent's going to get, even though our buyer's agency agreements state in them, which they should not, that says you'll first try to capture that from the seller, and if the seller won't pay, then you're responsible for it. The big thing in there is that you are responsible for it if the seller won't pay. But what we're seeing is happening is you're getting locked into these deals with these agents that won't negotiate their commission, and then you're not getting the home, which is not what this was set out to do. I do a lot of transactions here in Northern Kentucky and, some in Lexington and down that way. And I see a lot of different things, but, this is real life stuff here. Like, this isn't statistics. This isn't things I'm making up. Like, I want to share with you a contract I got on a deal I did a month or two ago with a big name agent in the area, and I'm not going to name names. I could if I wanted because it's in writing, but I'm not going to name names. Everybody can have their own business practice. I don't care what you charge. I just want people to be aware of what they're paying for. Under their line 32, which is also 451 and 452 of our contract, says buyer agency commission percentage is non-negotiable and to be considered an integral part of the net offer presented. To counter lines 451 and 452 is to reject the contract in its entirety. So think about that. If my seller said, okay, we'll take the offer, but we're only willing to split the agency commission with you and pay 1.5. According to this, it 100% it means we reject the contract if you stick to that provision. This isn't what the NAR lawsuit was supposed to protect the buyers from. This isn't this kind of stuff. I mean, this isn't fixing anything. This is actually making real estate more complicated for no reason. And then on top of that, these very same companies, these big box store companies, I just had one close Monday or Tuesday, I think. Obviously, we were the listing company, listed for $19.95. The seller or the buyer had their own agent, 3%. My seller ended up paying it, but ultimately the buyers are paying it. Without a buyer, there is no commission, there is no sale, there is no money. So, and then there is a Remax 199 broker fee attached. 199 broker fee on top of the 3% that they charge their buyer. Now, again, my seller ended up paying the 3% within the deal, but actually, who paid that? The buyer paid that. It's in the buyer's loan. I mean, it's an FHA loan, 3.5% down. The buyer is paying those fees, and then you get a 199 broker transaction fee. Guys, listen, I'm okay with it. Charge what you want to charge, but the public needs to be made aware. You don't have to do real estate this way. Like, you just don't have to do it this way. 199 on top of 3%, and that 199, I just had one the other day. I was actually the buyer's agent on it, and so it was a 450 house, maybe 430. I don't remember the numbers. What I do remember is it was a 6% listing, so they charged them 6% to sell that home, and then on top of that, there was a there was a broker agency fee of $299. I actually think that one was $299. I've seen them as high as $400, $425, and then when the seller or when the buyer sees that on the settlement statement, they complain about it and they knock it down to 199 or something. But very seldom do they completely go away. Guys, again, listen. My business model is different. I'm a flat fee lister. We do things on a flat fee basis here. Try to save everybody money. If you think your services are worth 6, 7, 8, 9, 10%, that's on you. I'm fine with that. I don't care. Have your own business model. I talked to a friend of mine this morning. They're a pretty big company in another state. They've got multiple locations. And his comment to me was, since the new laws have come out, they've actually made more money on commission. Because guys like me, when we used to offer co-ops in the MLS, we would put 1.5% or 2%, and nothing was ever said about it. You know, we'd get the offer in. The agent might be upset because their broker at some big box store told them there's mandatory 6%. You're always going to get 3%. That's never true. We can't price fix. That's what the whole lawsuit's about. But anyway, but I haven't done a deal at a reduced commission since this started, unless we're on the buy side. And luckily, we've got people calling on our signs now directly. I've had 3 closings in the last 2 or 3 weeks, one coming up, so 2 or 3 here in the last month or so, where we have both sides, and the total commission is $19.95 on that. So yeah, just be careful what you're signing, know what you're signing, understand things. Listen, if you don't want to use us, that's fine. You can call me for advice anytime, 859-743-5453. We can help you understand what you're signing, what you're doing. We can help you buy or sell. We primarily like to list homes, but we also act as buyer's agents, and we have different programs for that. There's cash back at closing. If you already know your house, if you want to buy it for sale by owner and you want to bring us in to write the offer and help you out, we do that. We can supply just the transaction as far as paperwork goes. Guys, there's all kinds of different ways to do real estate. The traditional 6% that's out there that most of these big box stores are doing is to pay for their office buildings and to pay for a lot of things that you don't necessarily need. But if that's their business model, that's fine. I work with some great agents from these big box stores. I've had some great experiences with them. A lot of them do a good job. I do a very good job. Everyone here does a good job. Dave's another agent here. He does a good job. We all pride ourselves in doing a good job, and I deal with some good agents. We just have a different business model, and our business model is to help you save money. Give us a call. Check us out on the website. We've got a new website being built. Our old one is still up. There's an informational video on there. It explains how we do things. nkyflatfee.com. It's nkyflatfee.com, like Northern Kentucky flatfee.com. If you're in Scott County, Fayette County, Madison County, Richmond, Berea, we cover basically, I try to cover Richmond to Covington. We can at all points in between. So we can help you anywhere there. If you have any questions, give us a call, 859-743-5453. That gets you straight to me. If I don't answer, text me. I do get back to everybody. But guys, just make sure you know what you're signing. I mean, yeah, I understand these buyers agency agreements, and our agents, it shouldn't say that in there, but our agency agreement that our forms committee in Northern Kentucky decided to go with states you agree to pay X amount, whatever that amount is, to the buyer's broker for representing you, and it will first try to capture those fees or some terminology they use from the seller. And that's fine, but all you're doing is borrowing that fee into your cost. That's all you're doing is raising your cost at that point. If you're a buyer, just know that who really pays the commission is the buyer. I mean, there is no transaction without a buyer. If you see our sign in the yard, a flat fee sign out there, give us a call because you're going to save a lot of money. If there's something you already know you want, something you want to see, we have different programs out there to work with buyers. So give us a call. Check us out on the website. Text me, call me, even if it's just for advice and you're not one of my customers. I love to talk about saving people money in real estate. So till next time, guys, get any questions, give me a call. Thanks.